All right, good evening. Let's try this. This is Chris with Richardson Clean. I have been stuck inside for more of the day than I would like because of the smoke that we've been experiencing yesterday and today, um, which means I haven't cleaned anything, which means I'm a little stir crazy. So I thought I would bring to you a video today about how I think about privacy in my business, in the home services businesses. I think that as a homeowner, your privacy is extremely important. You've got people walking in and out of your house. You've got people like me that are, in every single room in your house and spending quite a bit of time there. And I'm also walking around your home and I might be taking videos. I might be taking videos like this outside of your home. But there's a couple of things that I tell everyone that I meet. At least I try to make sure I tell them. And if not, it's in my literature. One of those things is that if I'm taking photos of your home for the purposes of doing the work, showing the work, or getting a quote for you, the photos that I am taking are not going into my phone and my photo album. They're actually going into an app that I use called CompanyCam. It's just an app that I use for my business, which means that the photos and videos I take at your house, they don't end up anywhere else. They don't end up on my screensaver. They don't end up, on my phone somewhere that someone else might be scrolling through. They're not anywhere else except for in a place that's just directly related to our dealings, you and I. So that's first thing. The second thing, when I am taking videos and photos in your home, they're, like I said, they're just for business purposes. And if I am using them for social media, I take them in such a way that you can't tell whose house it is, right? You can't tell what house is behind me, right? Unless you know me, and then, shh, don't tell. But no, seriously, the photos and videos that I take them very much on purpose. So you are never in the photos, your family's never in the photos. Your dog is not in the photos unless I ask first, and you say yes. I'm very careful when I am at a riverside. I don't mean riverside, the neighborhood. I mean a home that's on the river, on the water. Um, you know, eh, this things that not everybody thinks about. If I take a photo or a video in somebody's backyard and their home is, say, a large one and visible from the water, I may as well be taking a photo of the front of your house because people in boats, or walking along a trail are going to know exactly what house I was at. And there are things that I may not even think of, like there may be no cars in the driveway. There may be some subtle cues that someone that might mean harm is paying attention to that I'm not paying attention to, that tell them that nobody's home. I would never want that. Also, your own personal privacy. I have seen, I won't say who, but I have seen, you'll have to pardon me, I'm going to have to walk. I can't stay on my knees for that long. So I have seen a couple of instances where there are marketing materials by some other companies, not just in Windsor, but in other places too, where, you can actually see the customer in the video. There are, young guys or girls walking, they do that thing where they walk, like this, and we're constantly moving. And in those videos, I've seen the customer actually sitting, behind them in a chair or something, minding their own business. Probably having no idea they're going to end up in a paid ad somewhere. So that's something I don't do. Something I do is I keep your information secure. I don't go from house to house saying, "Oh, I just cleaned so and so's house. Oh, I just cleaned so and so's house." If we've had a discussion where one of my clients is someone that that's come up organically. It's not come up as a me just listing off everybody that I know and have dealt with. That's not something that I do. So I guess the main message is that, I'm a homeowner too. I understand privacy is important. It's important to me. It's important to you. Um, if you know this house, don't say anything. If you know any of the homes, or pieces of homes that you've seen in my videos, please do me a favor and don't say anything. This is your house, and then, you can do whatever you want. That's your choice. But my choice is to do my best to make sure your privacy is kept. I don't know what the word is. Private? Yeah, private. Take care.